I'm sorry. I can't
We
see.
see your screen.
Okay, you can. Okay, I was like, I
Yes.
can't see what I'm sharing. So I just wanted to be sure that I'm sharing the right
Yep.
thing. So, okay, perfect. Let me just make this into, there we go. Okay, so it is so nice to be here. I am Lisette Bohannon, like she said, from Niche, and I just want to quickly introduce myself. I actually go by Bo because everyone struggles with my name, and I've been a school counselor for many years and working in schools, you know how teachers and counselors always go by last names. So I just shortened my last name, and students and friends and everyone just calls me Bo. So my name is Bo, and like I mentioned, I've been a school counselor for I guess it's been over 10 years, and I got hired on at Niche to kind of be their school counselor and help create things that help other counselors and other students on a broader level. And so if some of y'all, if you're on TikTok, I also create content on TikTok under that school counselor that really just tries to help students with college and career planning. So feel free to check out my TikTok or my Instagram. It's under that school counselor. And I'll talk a little bit more about Niche specifically because I kind of do both. So I will jump into the next slide. So just to cover what I'm going to go over, I'm going to go over Niche and how you can use Niche in your college search journey. And then I'll also just talk about some other key stats and other ways that you can use different things that we provide. Everything is free on our site. And so I just always want you to keep that in mind. And then lastly, I'll talk about our direct admissions, which is our newest thing that we have been piloting. This last year was the first year that we piloted it all the way through. So I definitely want to share that information with y'all as you get started with your planning. And hopefully there should be plenty of time for questions. This shouldn't take a super long time. So just to start, if you haven't heard of us, Niche is really, we strive to be kind of where you can get information and where you can choose your college. And so we have different features that will help you search for colleges, that will help you kind of compare and narrow down your list. And then at the end, apply, which is a newer thing for us because the direct admissions program is newer. So we kind of hope to be a semi one-stop shop. We understand that a lot of times students will have other platforms that they have to utilize to apply to college and whatnot. But we hope that we can be there from the start of your search until you enroll in school and just try to provide guidance for you as you're figuring out which college you want to go to. So the first things first, just to start off, our main thing that and what you may have seen already is we have on our site pretty much every single college that you can imagine is on our site. And we do rankings. So our CEO, he actually started Niche. It was a book before because he moved from California all the way over to Pennsylvania to go to college, and he had no idea what the dorms were like, what the food was like. And so his big project and his big thing after college was, I think other students want to know that kind of stuff. They don't want to know just about the academics. They want to know what it's going to be like when I go to school. So that was the whole basis of why Niche was created. So he created a book, which then in turn over the years ended up turning into a website. And he really just wanted to compile a lot of information for students because he understands, and we all understand at Niche, that your education is a huge investment and it costs a lot of money for many students if you don't have scholarships or financial aid. And so we know that this is a big commitment and it might be the first big investment that you ever make in your life. And so you want to make the right choice for you. And so our motto is, or not our motto, our mission and our vision is that we want to help students find where they belong while being easy, transparent, and free. So we just want to be free for y'all, and we want to make sure that you all get the information and that you make the right choice for you. And so all of our stuff is coming from a neutral place. So every one of our college pages will have neutral data that we put in. It'll have information. Let me see if I can show you. So this is the university. Hopefully y'all went over to show you the page. I hope I'm not on the wrong one, but so this is,
Bo, all
yeah.
we see right now is the word niche on the screen.
Oh, okay. So let me do this. Okay, I know what's happening. Let me see. I need to do, here we go. Does that show that now it should, I
Yep,
should be
University of
sharing-
Southern California.
Okay, perfect. Now I should be sharing. I think I was sharing my other screen and not the Google Chrome. So I think we're good now. Okay, so let me just show you this is what we have for each and every college. So as you're searching, we have niche grades. And so we will grade the campus on various things that might be important to you and some might not. So we rate it on party scene, diversity, athletics. And I think the best part for me is you can go down, scroll a little more, you get the basic information, but honestly, you can get that anywhere. You know, you can look at the college and get that information. But the good thing is it's all in one place for you. Once you create your profile, I'll show you this later. We have an admissions calculator that calculates your chance of acceptance. And then if you keep scrolling down, this is my favorite part of the site and kind of what I encourage students to look at. We have a lot of, I guess, alumni and current students that will give us information. So we survey our students that are on our platform. And so, you know, we ask all of our students that are going to USC or that are alumni of USC, what is one word or phrase that best describes a typical student at this school? And you'll see the phrases that they themselves chose about themselves and their university. So I think that is very interesting because you can really get a good vibe check of what the university is like. You can see that they're busy, active. A lot of them say work hard, play hard. So you kind of get a sense of what it's like to be a USC student just based off of their perception of themselves. And so high quality and social, the key to my future. And then if you keep scrolling down, this is another part that I truly think is different and unique. The way I word it to other people is we're kind of like the Yelp for colleges where you can get some reviews. And I don't know about y'all, but I look at reviews for so many things in my life. I feel like, I mean, I shop on TikTok Shop. I want to see how stuff looks on other people before I buy it. And so I'm a review person. So I highly encourage y'all to check out the reviews, but also take them with a grain of salt. So when I was a counselor and I was with my students, we would go through the reviews and I'd remind them like, hey, sometimes when people have a bad experience, they might, you know, put a review in there that's not, you can kind of tell maybe they're angry or they had a bad experience. But for the majority of the reviews, you can get a sense of what it's like at the school. And that's really what we're aiming for is like, we want to show you what it would be like at the school, what it might be like for you if you were to go. And so it's actually very enlightening to go through. A lot of them talk about traditions. Some of them talk about what it's like their freshman year or their dorms. And so they will put in reviews. And I think that is a really powerful tool that you have that is on niche. And I don't think I've seen any other sites that really show as many reviews that we do from current students or alumni. So I would say that is your best bet in terms of finding out the true information of what it's like. Let me see if I can, sorry, I'm gonna navigate back. Hopefully y'all can see where I'm at now. Let me see, okay. Hopefully it's back to my presentation.
It is.
Okay, awesome. So we also have an app. So we do have an app. You can find us a lot of times through Google. So feel free to search on your phone for any colleges or whatnot. And then moving forward into some more tools that we do have, we have a college quiz for those of you that are maybe really undecided, or maybe you're super decided and you are really honed in on one school or one university and you want to see what else is out there because you have tunnel vision. Either way, you can take the quiz and just see what pops up and see what populates based off of your preference. So it's going to ask you, you know, how important is party school? How important is athletics? Would you want a public or a private, or do these, you know, is academics the most important thing, or class size? How, you know, what is the most important thing in the level of importance? And so you can start there. I used to recommend this for like my younger students, but then sometimes my juniors or seniors who are just kind of, like I said, tunnel vision and can't think outside the box and can't find another good fit, this is a great place to start and just take the quiz and figure out, maybe what other colleges are out there. Because sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and there may be a college that really fits your needs. And so start with the college quiz if you feel like you need a little bit more guidance or a little bit more maybe maybe selection or variety to add to your college list. And then the dashboard and the checklist, this is kind of like your hub once you create an account. So I'm going to go over and show you. So this is the checklist, and this is my fake profile, and so that's why I only have 6% done. But when you create a niche account, it will pre-populate what you should be doing based off of your graduation year. So if you are graduating class of 2025, you'll have a checklist of things you should do, and it will kind of give you a little like, okay, you've completed 4 or 5 things, but you still have these things to do. And then also, sorry, I'm going to move this. Let me see. And then also the dashboard. Okay, so then here is your dashboard. So everything is kind of housed in this one place, and you can see, your profile, you can find the college quiz and all these other tools that I'm talking about all in one handy spot. And then a lot of your colleges that you've saved or your college checklist can all be found here as well. So just know that this is kind of like your home base whenever you create an account. So I'm going to go back here. We also have a compare feature. I'm not sure at your school, what tools you may have already. I know some schools have Score or Naviance or other platforms, but we do have some easy compare tools. So if you are adding schools to your list and you're trying to figure out if college is going to be more expensive or if one's going to be harder to get into, you can line them up side by side and you can kind of compare your college list and see, okay, this one is costing this one typically awards this much in scholarships. So you can kind of get a better sense of which one may be better when you're still on the fence and deciding between colleges. So that's our college compare tool. I mentioned this one earlier, the college admissions calculator, and I will warn you because you all are in an odd time because in the past, SAT and ACT scores were required. And then obviously with COVID and everything that happened in the past, 4 years, a lot of schools have gone test optional. So the students that were actually submitting scores were typically really high scores. So I do forewarn you that the scores here, it may seem like when you look at the admissions calculator, you may feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm never going to get into this school. But again, just utilize this as a kind of a gauge of what it takes to get in, but it's not the end all be all. So if you don't quite match up, it may be because the last few years have been a little skewed just because students are actually submitting really high scores, and then the students opt not to submit if it's a test optional school. So hopefully that makes sense, but don't be scared off if your little dot is nowhere near the green, but hopefully it's closer to the green. That is the accepted area. The little green dots is typically the students that they've accepted. And so it is based off of your GPA and your SAT score. So they're strictly numbers. So just keep that in mind. But just know that there's still a good chance that even if you're not, right on the green, like you could still be close, and the scores may be a little skewed in the past few years. And scholarships. So we do have a lot of scholarships. I will be 100% honest. All of our scholarships are no essay, more sweepstakes based. Like it is based off of chance and luck. But I will say we update our scholarships all the time. Every month we are updating more and more scholarships. There are some that are smaller. So our $2,000 scholarships don't get as many people to apply to them. So I would say for our scholarships, this is not a one-stop shop. This is the only thing you should do when you're researching for scholarships. However, I would say to make it a habit once a month, maybe the first, maybe every first of the month, you go into Niche, you go apply to a lot of scholarships because we do update them frequently, and you can apply to them as soon as you're, I believe it's 13, and you can do this every month. I have personally talked to winners and it has changed their life. So I will say, even though it seems like a long shot, you can still apply for these scholarships and just make sure you're continuously doing it. You shouldn't do it just one time and then forget it, because then your chances are going to be a lot lower of getting accepted or getting winning a scholarship. So just keep that in mind, because a lot of times people are like, well, I applied to the scholarships and I never won. But if you've only done it once, I would say just keep applying, and hopefully, it's a matter of chance. And always make sure to check your email. If you get a legitimate email from Niche, it will give you the next steps. And I will say sometimes we have awarded scholarships and we are trying to email the winner and they don't respond. So just make sure you're checking your emails and you're, being an active, engaged student with the scholarship search, because it can be a lot, but it is a part of the process. And I think our scholarships are so easy because it takes a simple click of a button and you've applied to multiple. So even though it's a low lift, it's something that you should do every month, I would say, in terms of applying to our scholarships. And then our overview. So a lot of y'all, if you haven't heard of us, you might have found us because we do have some rankings out there. We try not to focus too much on rankings, but we do have some rankings list of, top colleges for athletics, best or top party colleges, top academic, we'll have certain academic by major colleges. So you might have seen us through Google. We also do a lot of scholarships that you might have seen on TikTok, because we do promote a lot of times scholarships through TikTok with TikTokers or influencers. And then, of course, we are on social media. So our social media page might be something that is a little bit different or new, or you may not have seen it, but our handle is Niche Social on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and we do have a Discord. And so we actually hire students to create the videos, to create our TikTok content. And also, just shameless plug, if any of you are TikTokers or content creators, we do hire high school students as well. But if I will put my contact information in if any of you at the end, if you wanted to reach out and get hired. We pay our students based off of how many videos they create for us. And so it is a good part-time job to have while you're either in high school or in college, because it's super easy and flexible on your own time. But we really try to hire students because we know that you don't want to hear from me or anyone else. I am on the TikTok page because I do a lot of a lot of TikTok on my own with my own platform. So I do a lot of like the news, the college news or the guidance post, but we're really just trying to show you what it's like at the school. So although I'm doing the news and the guidance, the students are the ones that are really creating the videos about the college. So they'll do campus tours or a day in the life of a film major at UT Austin, or they will go and do the little tiny mic interviews. And I will say those tiny mic interviews are a great depiction because you can really get a sense of the student population when they do those tiny mic interviews. So yeah, so long story short, check out our TikTok, our Instagram. You can really get a good idea of helpful information. And if you're searching for a certain college, make sure to check out our TikTok, because we do have a ton of campus tours or day in the life, and it may give you a good sense of what the dorms look like or what the food's like. And especially if you can't go visit a certain school. So I also have this. Now, I only put this in here because I wanted to show you that I do have a lot of resources. So I was hired on to be the niche counselor. And so I create things that I think might be helpful for students, and I house everything on this site. And so at the end, I'll have a little QR code if you all want to get onto this little landing page. I have free resources for students. So I have things like a college application timeline. I have a checklist. Let me see if I can just show you. It has a checklist of things you should be doing at each time, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Let me go back over here. I have a college app organizer. For those of you that are more digital and you like to save things on your computer, you can download and just make a copy of this. So that way you can just get organized, and maybe you want to, organize all of your schools and mark the status and track where you're at in the process. This is really helpful for your senior year when you actually start applying, because it can get confusing really, really quick when you're applying to 5 or 6 schools. It's overwhelming, to say the least. And so just having a place to put your username and your password. And then coming back over here, I also have, for those students who don't want to type everything in and they prefer looking at it and writing it down with pen and paper, I have a printable version that you can actually write down some notes about the school and where you're applying. And so the reason I shared the counselor page is because this is basically my hub. Everything that I create, I'm creating for students. And so I hope to make ready-made things for you. And I also, on our YouTube page, I create YouTube videos that will go much more in depth with each step of the process. And so if any of y'all are on maybe the college app essay, I have a brainstorming activity. I have kind of it broken down. I have an entire YouTube video dedicated towards teaching you brainstorming methods, trying to help you figure out what you want to write about, how to organize your essay, just tips and reminders. Let me go over to our YouTube page. I hope I'm doing this correctly. I hope y'all can see it right. But I also did, what was the
It's correct.
Okay, awesome. I wanted to make sure. I also did another video just recently on just like minor things that you might not think about, like what to do if you're waitlisted. So just keep in mind how to appeal your financial aid award package. Some of those things might not come until later in your senior year, but they're very niche things that happen in your college application journey at times. And sometimes you may not know how to deal with certain things. And so just feel free. Like I said, I will have the QR code at the end and you can scan and maybe just save the landing page. So then that way you have like that hub of assets whenever you need it, whenever you want the college app organizer or the checklist, you have it saved. So I'll go back here. So that's why I put that there. And then lastly, this newer initiative that we've been doing is niche direct admissions. And so I know that there are so many different platforms that you all are on every single day. And I know that you may have already heard the term direct admissions and whatnot, but I want to talk specifically to niche because, again, we are a little bit different than some other platforms. We have been doing our program for this last year was our first full year that we did it, but we did do it the year before with a pilot school. And so we actually had students apply and get in, and they are thriving now in college. And so I'm going to just play a quick little video of the students that were accepted and that already were in college their freshman year this year. So then that way you can kind of hear a little bit about their experience, and then I'll talk a little bit more in depth about what it will look like for you when you get there.
So I will 100% recommend niche direct admissions to any and every high school student.
The summer before my senior year, I was not in a good place. You know, it felt like everybody, they knew what college they wanted to go to. Me, I was a bit lost. Niche, it was the climax in the story of my life. It's what turned everything around. It led me on the right path. I found my footing here. I'm really glad that niche exists to help students like me.
My senior year, I was really scared that I wasn't going to be able to afford to go to college. Honestly, I did not see myself in college, kind of already given up. But when I saw the email that Niche had given me, like just opened my eyes. And if I don't take this opportunity, I'm going to be losing a lifetime, you know?
My journey with college, I was applying to all these different schools, paying all these different application fees. I didn't have to do application fee with niche. I didn't have to write an essay. It was just really easy.
Honestly, until the last week of high school before graduation, I did not know where I was going to school. But it's definitely that saving grace in terms of, well, here's an opportunity. Do you want it? Take it. I'm thankful I took the opportunity.
Niche really helped me to pick up the pace. It was a fast, easy process. It's only one click away to applying and getting accepted. Choose niche. That's cool.
Bo,
Yeah, did it
can
not?
you go into a little more detail about what direct admissions is?
Yeah, that's what
Thank-
yeah, I'm gonna definitely.
Oh, okay, sorry, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm going to go through and kind of what it means and what it's going to look like for students. It is only available to students their senior year, so it will only be available if you have a niche account, which I'll go into more detail. It will only be available to any, I guess, future seniors after August. And so August is kind of when it rolls over, and then now it's an option for all of the seniors. But basically, with direct admissions and what those students kind of took advantage of is an acceptance offer that they received from a college along with a scholarship, and it was solely based on their niche profile. So they didn't apply to the college. They just got accepted with a scholarship based off of what information they had put in when they got their niche account. So I'm going to go into detail. I'm going to show you what it would look like on your dashboard as well. But first, I just wanted to really emphasize this is our program at Niche. And again, like I mentioned, we are always going to be free for students. That is something that we pride ourselves in. And we want to change the process because we know that applying to college is a lot. I know I've seen students crying in my office, year in, year out, all the time, even my students that were always on top of things. And so if it's stressful for even them, we know that there are so many colleges out there who really need students and they want students. And sometimes maybe the students aren't applying to their universities or they're not getting the right fit for their schools. And so we want to we have partnered with a lot of colleges that also believe the same thing, then that really, they don't want to make things harder for students. And so the reason we started to do this is because we wanted to ease student stress. We want to have an option for all of you that is easy and not, it doesn't, provoke any anxiety. We want to just be really transparent and give you the information up front. So once you create an account, a niche account, if you put in all of your information, like your GPA, your SAT scores, if you have them, whatnot, we will let you know if you are getting accepted and the amount of the scholarship and the school. So we really wanted to be really transparent and upfront with what the offer is for you. And then we just really want to eliminate the barriers. We know that students are dealing with a lot. We understand that at Niche, and we really just, our goal is to partner with schools that also understand that and that want to just provide opportunities for some students that maybe didn't know existed. And so basically, it's a 1, 2, 3. You create a niche account just as if maybe some of you already have a niche account. If you don't, that's okay. But you create a niche account. And what will happen is if you meet, right now we have about 100 colleges that are offering direct admissions. If you meet one of those colleges' criteria and you select that you're interested in that college, they will let you know immediately if you get an offer of acceptance based on your profile and a scholarship on behalf of that college. We will let you know. And then it's a quick submission of your transcripts. They still need to verify that everything you said on Niche was true. So you will have to typically submit a transcript, and then you can start the enrollment process. So it truly is that simple, but it starts with having a Niche account. So I used to do this with students in my office. Creating a niche account is super easy. You can do it with your Gmail account, or you can just set it up with your email. It takes barely any time. The main information that you really need to have on hand is your SAT scores, ACT scores, if you have them, and an accurate GPA. And so just make sure that you have that. And when you're setting up your account, that you have it selected that colleges can contact you. So that is the only caveat. If you don't select that little button, then colleges are not allowed to bother you. So if you don't want to take advantage of it, then don't select that offer. But if you would like to see what offers you could possibly get with one of our direct admissions colleges, then definitely select the little check mark that says colleges can contact you. And then that way they can start the process with you and show you which colleges you can get accepted, and you can hear from them the scholarship. So if you meet the criteria for the college may tell us at Niche, I'm looking for students who have a 3.0 and above. And that might be their only criteria. We just want to have a 3.0 and above, and they're accepted. And so it may be something as simple as that, or it may be, I want them in a certain region, or they're looking for students out of state that they want to bring in state. There are a couple different factors, but each college will have certain factors that they're looking for. And so if you meet that criteria and you select that you're interested in the college, you will find out right then and there if the college says, yes, you're accepted, and how much scholarship they're willing to offer you. And it's a yearly scholarship. So it's not just your freshman year. You would get the scholarship every year. And so it kind of looks like this. Once you select, yes, I'm interested, for example, if you were to select, and I will show you in more detail here in a second as well, but if you were to select Washington and Jefferson, for example, and just say, I'm interested, then you would get this in real time. So a student, I was at a conference, and one of the counselors said that one of her students was kind of comparing this to Tinder in a way, because they were going down the list and just swiping, I guess, and saying, I'm interested. And then they find out, oh, we match, the college wants me. And so it's kind of like that, I guess, if I could compare it to something else that students may be a little bit familiar with, is it is kind of like a dating kind of service where you can see if you're a match with the college and what they're willing to offer you in terms of a scholarship. And so as you can see right here, you'll see all the details. You'll see how much per year they're willing to offer you. And then if you're ready to take the next steps, then you can definitely move forward and just move on with the enrollment process. So all of our direct admissions are going to be housed in your dashboard, and we are rolling out an admissions hub. So it will be in your dashboard admissions hub next year if you are a senior, and you will be able to see all of those offers right there. You will also get emailed, so you'll see that as well. So let me show you our direct admissions colleges and kind of what it looks like. So this is a list. So if you go to our site and you are simply, let's see if I can go here, and you start your search with colleges. If you're just looking at all of the colleges, we have a little tab right here, and it says direct admissions. And so these are all of our direct admissions partners that partner with us, and we are onboarding more. So just FYI, I think we were at 100 this year. We're trying to get to 150 plus this for the class of 2025. And so just know that we're adding more and more colleges to this list all of the time. And so let's say, for example, you're going through and you are interested. Here is one. You can look at the school. So University of Nevada, Reno is one of our partners. There will always be a little orange flag right here in this top left corner. And then you will see that this school offers direct admission. So you'll be able to see that right there. And if you add it to your list, you will find out right then and there. So, whoops, am I not logged in? Not logged in on this one. Let me see. Let me go over here. Okay. Oh, it logged me out. All right. Well, this one. Sorry, always technical stuff. There we go. Okay. So once you add it, you will be able to go into your dashboard and find out immediately, okay, this is the school I added, University of Nevada, Reno. you can see what they're offering me. They're offering me $3,000 a year based off of my fake profile. And you can see when the match will expire. So typically it's at the end of that year. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, you'll see why this might be a good fit for you. So, my fake profile, I think I have a few majors listed. I have that I want a 4-year school. So it will tell you that. And then it will give you a breakdown of how much it costs if you're out of state or if you're in state, if you're going to live on campus. And we have a more personalized net price estimate if you want to break it down even further for yourself. And so, also keep in mind, we also have an average of how much you would receive in a grant or a scholarship that the university typically gives out. You would still complete your FAFSA to try to do the other financial aid in addition to this scholarship. So you would want to kind of get as much as you can get from every area. So if you were to get accepted, I would say then definitely include the college and you're interested in that college, include that in your FAFSA. So then that way you can get the niche scholarship with direct admissions and then also whatever financial aid they're willing to give you through your FAFSA. So that will all be found right here. Let me see if I can actually go down it's hard to see. Okay, here. So next steps would be where it would take you if, let's say you're ready to move on and you're like, this is the school I was going to apply to anyways. And I got in, I like the scholarship amount, I'm going to apply to my FAFSA. Then you just complete an onboarding form, which typically is uploading your transcripts. And then after that, you can start moving forward with the next kind of scheduling a visit, meeting your coordinator, finding your major, enrolling for classes. So it is pretty simple and pretty easy. It's the process is we are trying to just make it really seamless. And like I said, this isn't going to be your really tough to get into colleges like your Ivy Leagues. Those are not going to offer direct admissions because they are too competitive to offer that. These are going to be for more of your state schools where they have higher acceptance rates. So think, schools like Houston Christian University, University of Nevada. I think we had, I think the other one was like UT Arlington. And so we have different schools, but most of them are going to be more of your state universities. And also keep in mind, we do have some private schools in here. And a lot of times students are always, I remember when I was a counselor, students were always like, I can't afford a private school. For those of you that are wanting to go out of state and you're worried about affording it, there are some private schools who do offer huge scholarships that make it more like you would be in state, if that makes sense. Like, for example, this Houston Christian one is offering $22,000 a year scholarship, and that's every year that you're in college. So it might make some of those private schools a little bit more attainable as if they were an in-state school. So for those of you that are, dying to leave the house and you're looking for some kind of affordable option, then this may be a good avenue to check out to see if some of those private schools do offer you quite a big scholarship. And then they also have you potentially could qualify for acceptance to some direct admission schools. And this is simply based on certain factors. So it could be based on majors you listed. It could be based on locations that you said you wanted to live in. It could be based on where other people at your high school are applying. And so if you want to be considered, you have to select I'm interested, and then you would find out what the offer would be. So, so going back over here. So big key things to remember is you really want to make sure that your niche profile is up to date, and you want to check your dashboard frequently to review the acceptances and scholarships. If you don't want to pursue that college, you can remove them off of your dashboard and say, I'm not interested, and then it will delete it. But check frequently, because we are adding more and more colleges. Like I mentioned, we had about 100 this year for the class of 2024. And for class of 2025, our goal was really to increase it, so it'd be a lot to choose from. And so I think we might be getting closer to 120, 150 is our goal, around that range. And so hopefully, you'll see some schools in your area. We do have schools all over the country. So it is a great option. Whoops. And then I have, I guess let me pause this here. I do have my email on there. I know sometimes, and I do student webinars for direct admissions and for other things. And so if any of you have questions or you're interested in direct admissions, I will be hosting a webinar specifically on direct admissions in August once the year kicks off. And I'll also be doing one for parents, just in case your parents may be skeptical, because I know a lot of it's newer. And so people are always like, is this a scam? Is this real? Are they really offering me this scholarship? And as long as what's listed on your niche profile matches what's on your transcript, then yes, that is a legitimate acceptance offer, and it's a legitimate offer, a scholarship offer as well. So just keep that in mind. But sometimes sometimes your parents need someone else to, push them or guide them or tell them about the program for them to really understand it fully. And it is newer, so I don't blame them either. Because I know that there are some things that might be a little scammy to students out there. And so feel free to take down my email or just sign up for a niche account, because they will receive the information as well, because we'll be emailing the invites for the webinars out to everyone. But these are all the handles. Like I mentioned, we're Niche Social on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, and then my personal TikTok where I share a lot of helpful information. It's That School Counselor altogether. And I also have an Instagram. However, I'm a lot more active on TikTok. So I post daily on TikTok. I try to post helpful tips and tricks and scholarship info, just basically anything to help you in your planning. I post on my TikTok daily. So check me out there. And then lastly, this is the Counselor Resource Hub. And so this is, if you want to scan this and just save it, this is where I'll be uploading any helpful docs that could potentially help a student, like a checklist or an college app organizer or a timeline. I was working on one. I think my next one is going to be like a college visit questionnaire that you can have handy when you go visit your colleges. And so feel free to just scan that and save the resource hub, because typically whenever I create something, I'll just put it on that page. And
I have a question.
yeah.
This is Kate. How current is the data on niche? So if I'm trying to find out the stats for 2024, is that on there yet? Or when does that get updated?
I would have to verify, but we're 1 year behind. And so whatever was submitted so right now what's on the site is probably still the admissions information from class of 2023. And it would probably it wouldn't roll over until the next school year. So I would guess after August is when we start shifting everything on our site. So we start shifting the data, we start shifting the students then become seniors in August. And so we try to do all of that rollover then. So I think right now it would still be whoever was admitted from class of 2023 information until after August.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you say you post daily to TikTok, and that's wonderful. I love TikTok. I use it for lots of different reasons, but we can't access TikTok in Montgomery County when we're connected to our school's Wi-Fi's. So I'm wondering, do you also post all of those videos to your Instagram?
I need to be better. I need to do better and do that. I get sucked into just one platform, and then I struggle to keep up. But on our Niche Social, we do. So we do post on Instagram as well. Everything that's posted on Niche Social typically gets posted on our YouTube. Well, we're going to start on our YouTube soon, and Instagram. That's been kind of our two places. And so yes, from Niche Social, yes. For my personal one, I have been struggling to keep up. And so I have
A lot. Yeah. No, I'm just saying it's a lot. I get it.
Yeah. It's a lot. But I am trying to be better, and I think I will start housing my stuff more on YouTube Shorts. We are getting more support on our team. And so since that's my kind of personal one, I always just let it go, but I do need to be better about it. And so, because I do understand that TikTok is there is that, you know, that dynamic and it could go away. And so I do need to be better about that. So my plan is moving forward that yes, but the niche social, we do house everything on both. So that all that information will be on our Instagram as well.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions? All right, well, I have learned a lot. I've been taking copious notes, and as I said at the beginning, this has been recorded and it will be shared with your college advisors that every high school has. So again, if you don't know who that person is, check with your counselor and they'll let you know. Thank you so much for being here today, Bo. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Hopefully it was helpful.
All right.
I have one.
Oh, go ahead.
How long do you have to accept the direct admission?
So most of them, I think the one I clicked on was typically they'll have a date on there. Every college might be a little different, but they're pretty flexible. So most of them will be whenever the enrollment date is. So a lot of them will be like June 1st, you have to decide, or July. And I'm meaning as if you were in class of 2025. You typically have all the way until their enrollment date. And so it will be, I think the one I clicked on was July. You had to finalize and accept the offer.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else? All right, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.